I'm coming. Hi. Hi, guys. All right. It has been a run kind of a morning trying to get everything ready. So we are making unstuffed cabbage today because I made it last week and I talked about it with somebody and they were like, ooh, what is that? How do you make it? I want to know. So I decided to make it. I can't see anything. I thought I turned this light on, but I didn't. There we go. Okay, so I have some ground beef over here, but it was frozen a little bit, so it's just taking a little bit longer to get cooked up. So I just want to break a little bit off. And then I also was running around, so it's got a little bit of hard bottom there from being too long on the pan. But anyway, so that's doing that. So I also used up the last of my onion that I needed for this, so I have to use my purple onion, which is fine. So I just do it in slices like this because the cabbage is sort of like that. Don't have to go too crazy making it too thin or too perfect or anything like that. Good morning. We're making unstuffed cabbage just for you, Brenda. So we've got the ground beef going. I threw in the onion. And then we are going to cut up the cabbage. This is a rather small head of cabbage, so I only did 1 pound of ground beef. I cut it off, and you can see the stem comes up and around. So in case you don't use cabbage very often, I put it face down with the stem pointing away from me, and then I just start slicing it thin until I get to about where the core is. I got a couple more slices here. Okay. Yep. All right, and then I turn it, and I'm using a tiny cutting board. I don't know why I'm doing that, but it's the one that was out, so I'm using it. I turn it to the side, and I cut till I get to the core again, and then I turn it around the other way, and I cut till I get to the core again, and then I flip it on its side, and I cut like that. And then I have just left the hard part in the middle, and then I just cut this in half. I don't get too crazy. These little leaves that fell off, oh, that one's got a little, I'll just stop. Check this beef. Okay. So you're just browning up some ground beef. You can use ground turkey. That's fine too. You could probably even use like a mixture of ground turkey and ground pork too, and that would probably be yummy. So whatever you like. And then just break it up small. It doesn't have to be so small like taco small, but just break it up small. In the Instant Pot, I have a chuck roast right now. I'm going to be trying to make some with plantains again. Plantain tortillas later today. I won't have time to do those also this morning. I just don't have the time to do that, so I'm going to try later. And then I have the chuck roast that I'm going to shred it up and use it and make tacos out of it on these plantain tortillas, I think. We'll see what happens. So we're going to throw this in here. Okay. I don't know why I'm even using that little cutting board when I have this whole big chop surface right here. So I'm just going to do this other half of the head real quick. Come on. I think we're in. Yep, okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, cut these in half. Mix this up. Throw it in. Drop a little on the floor for good measure, because that seems to be my MO, dropping things on the floor. That's okay. All right, so I am going to, for this particular one, I am going to just put a little bit of chicken broth in here, or beef broth, whatever, just to put a little moisture in the pan. It's only at a medium-high, but it's cooking pretty hot, so I don't want it to burn. Stir it in a little bit. I'll put a tiny bit of broth just to cook down the cabbage. I'm probably going to use beef, actually, because I have one open right here. So I'll just, not much, like 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup maybe at the most. Just a couple splashes. Okay, and then I have the no-mayo sauce that I made last time. I made another batch. But normally when I'm eating tomatoes, which I might not go back to because this was quite yummy and it doesn't give me heartburn, When I'm eating tomatoes, I usually put a couple of cans of diced tomatoes, 2 or 3, and a can of tomato sauce. But because I'm doing this no-mato stuff, this AIP, I'm not doing that. So I have this sauce. I cooked it up in my cooking blender from Pampered Chef. If you are in the market, that's a good blender for making sauces and stuff. And I'll just put 2 cups in there for now. And then I'll walk away, put the lid on it, and let it cook. And we'll just see how it's doing. And put, actually, you know what? I didn't put any seasonings in here. I'll do that next. So normally for seasonings, I will put some thyme, some oregano, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, some garlic. I didn't put any garlic in there, so I'll do that. You know, whatever you like. It doesn't have to be what I do. But those are the flavors that I enjoy in it, so that's what I do. And then I just cook it until it's done. It starts to get a little bit caramelized, which is what I like. Some people don't like that. Once the cabbage cooks down and some of the liquid cooks off from that, it'll start to caramelize a little bit on the bottom, and then dinner's served. Done. So it's really quite simple. I'm just putting a bunch of seasonings. I know you can't see me, but there we go. Okay, stir it up, put the lid on, and walk away. This morning, I am so tired again. I have been going to bed way too late, so I had to pour myself a cup of hot water and stick one of my apple cinnamon energy drinks in there because, whoo, girl, I need to start going back to bed on regular time here. Okay, so that's the cabbage. That's it. Cook it. Done. Unstuffed cabbage. So it's really quite simple. I know everybody that is not like super cook type people, they're like, you always say it's easy. It is, it's really easy, I promise. So, the next thing we're going to make, I actually need to take out of the oven the final product before they burn. And I'm going to show you how to make it from the beginning, but I wanted to make sure I had something from the start. So I will show you these in a second, but I don't want them to burn. So the oven's at 400. Okay, so these are AIP garlic knots. Let me get the garlic out because I made it already. The oil, just pop it in the microwave because the oil, when you put oil in the fridge, it sort of coagulates. So I'll just pop it in for 30 seconds and go from there. I love recipes that use weight measurements as opposed to, just feel like you're very crooked here, I'm sorry. As opposed to cups and stuff because it's way more accurate. Now I feel like you're crooked in a different direction. I have, Brenda. It's terrible. I've been staying up too late. Okay, so when you have measurements, you want to use a nice cooking scale. I have this great cooking scale, and it does have a little switch on the bottom to switch from grams to like ounces and pounds and stuff. So I'm going to put my bowl on. I'm going to turn it on. And then I'm going to put my bowl on it. And then you'll see the word tare, T-A-R-E. What that does is it balances it back out to 0. So that's what we want. There we go. That's nice and done there. Okay. And so what's nice about this is you don't have to scoop and measure and scoop and measure. You could just scoop it right into the bowl. And I'm just watching the weight go up. As a matter of fact, this needs quite a bit, so I'm probably... Except the only problem is this is kind of dusty, so I'm trying to be careful about that. I need, how much did I need for this? I should probably look. I forgot. Here we go. 360 grams. So I'm just going to go here till I see 360, which is about 3 cups-ish. Okay, this is arrowroot powder. Again, I don't eat a lot of this stuff normally. I'm just doing this so I can show you guys. So I wouldn't recommend that you eat tons and tons and tons. If you're on some sort of a special diet, we're always very quick to like, how can I still eat the junk when I'm on this diet? And so we try all these recipes that are loaded full of garbage. So I try not to eat a lot of this kind of like starchy stuff, but I wanted to show you guys how to make these because once in a while a treat is nice. So we need 120 grams. This is plantain flour. Okay, I just ordered it online. I got a big bag since I'm doing a lot of this kind of stuff. And I pushed tare again so that I'm back to 0. And I'm just going to do my 120 grams of this. I don't have to use measuring cups. I just need my spoon, my bowl, and my scale, which is really nice. Okay, we're almost there, so I'm going to do a smaller scoop. Almost. Perfect, okay. So we have that, and I even do it for all the little stuff, because why not? Why dirty stuff when you don't have to? Okay, so the next thing is we need some salt, and so I hit tear again. We need 12 grams. You need to make sure you put salt and stuff like this when you're making breads and things, because it is gross without it. Okay, whoops, I just turned it off. Now it's going to tell me it's over. Let's see. Yeah, accidentally hit off. Okay, we'll tear this out again, and then we've got our baking soda, and we'll do our 3 grams of that. Come on. It's like 1, and then it's 4. It's okay. So, and then we got cream of tartar, which now I'm using all of a sudden all the time. We're going to tear this out, and cream of tartar is 5 grams. So we'll just shake that in. Okay, so the dry ingredients are done. So I'll put my spoon in there, but I need some, let me just stir this. Ooh, it smells good. And then I'm going to show you so that you can see it. But the cabbage is already cooking down. I mean, this is what, like a 20-minute meal. And you're done and ready to go. Yep, it's already cooking down. It's looking beautiful. It's probably going to be done in it'll be done by the time we're done. All right, so the next step, I'm going to put a pot on here. And then I'm going to pour water, which I have somewhere. Here it is. We need 250 grams of water. And I put a little bit extra in here in my cup because we'll need it a little bit later. Okay, now it's 250. There we go, 253. Okay, so we'll save that water for later. And then we're using an ingredient called gelatin. And gelatin, it comes in a lot of, I know, Brenda, plantain flour. I'm sorry, I see your comments later. It's really exciting how you can use plantain for everything. Okay, so gelatin is used in a lot of the AIP or the vegan or whatever. Not vegan, because it's usually from beef. But like the odd things where you can't eat eggs or something. Gelatin is used, you mix it with the water, and you use it as, apparently, it's an egg substitute. So we're going to sprinkle it in here. I need 30 grams, so that should be it. Oh, a little bit more. Perfect. And then you let it dissolve in here a little bit, and then you heat it up on the stove. So that's all for that. And then we're going to put our bowl back on here. We're going to zero this out. Put our bowl back on. I wanted to get that going so that it can start to dissolve a little bit. Actually, it's already dissolving really well, so I think I'm going to turn the heat on. And you just turn it on until it's cooked. That's all. Until it's dissolved. So let's put the oil. Olive oil in here, 75 grams. Oh, getting close, so I better slow down. Okay, almost. Oh, my speaker just shut off. Almost, almost, almost. 1 more gram. What? Come on, that should have been a gram. Ah, there we go. Okay, so then we're done with our scale. And we just mix this up. Once we put this gelatin water in there, we're going to mix it up and we're going to turn it into garlic knots. So I want to bring over, right? So what I did also is I did some olive oil in a pan with some crushed garlic. So I did the crushed garlic, cooked it in the pan. You don't want it to brown. You just want to infuse the oil with it and get the garlic cooked a little bit. Yeah, that'd be great, Marianne. So then you brush that on the top. That's it. So let me show you the cabbage, because it's done. Now you could say, I want a little more sauce in there, or I want a little more moisture of some kind, but really it's done. The cabbage is soft, the meat is cooked, the onions are cooked. Let me just get a thing over here so I don't burn this. Oh! That's too heavy with one hand. Good thing it's got 2 handles. All right, can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if you can. I can't tell if you could see it. There it is. Okay. So, and why are you so crooked today? I don't know what's happening. So this is it. You taste it, see if it's any good. I'm sure it is. Oh, it's hot. I'm going to have to blow on this thing for like 500 years. Okay. Oh, it's still too hot. Sorry, that's disgusting. I put a half in my mouth. It was really hot. So I'm using grass-fed beef. I'm trying to eliminate as many toxins. It's definitely more expensive. We've been using Butcher Box. Butcher Box is pretty good. We're trying to figure out if it's worth the money to go through that or to go some other route. So, yep. Yum, yum. It just needs a little more salt, that's all. So I'm going to move this back over here. Okay. This is going to be hot, so I'm going to be careful. And I'm going to put it off to the side here because I don't want to keep it on that hot burner. All right. This is almost ready for me to show you how to make these. Once we get this, I think it's good actually. Yeah. Once it's dissolved, it's good. You don't need to like boil it or anything. All right, so we have our our bowl. We're going to pour our gelatin mixture in here. Okay. This out of the way. And you do not want to stick your hands in there right now because the pot of water or of gelatin is hot. So you want to start working it in with a fork or a spoon or something else. I have a spoon right now. Just because you don't want to stick your hand in it while it's too hot. So once it's cooled down a smidge, you're going to stick your hand right in there. So you're going to get messy anyway. As a matter of fact, I have a little bit of cabbage here that I don't want in my garlic knot, so I'm going to clean that up real quick. Okay. We put the lid on this cabbage. All right, so what is going to happen is you're going to have to play with the dough a little bit, moisture-wise, and you want to make sure that it's not going to be like regular dough. It's just not. So, because you're not using regular ingredients. So you have to play with it. You want to make sure it has good moisture so that it's not cracking when you're shaping it. And so you want to get your hands in there. And it's so interesting with the plantain flour. You can see it almost looks like little flecks of plantain in there. It's so interesting. But it's all flour. And so why am I seeing it like that? But it looks like a little slice of plantain, and then I work it in and I don't see it anymore. So it's interesting. Okay, so this is too crumbly, right? I can't do anything with that yet. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water. And it gets really sticky when you first start with the water. So, I'm not crooked? Oh, good. My phone looks so crooked, Brenda. I just saw that. Sorry. And so now I'm like totally stuck on myself. But then it'll dry out again. So you got to keep working it in. Don't be like, oh my gosh, I ruined it. It's too wet and I can't do anything. Just be okay getting messy. Get your hand in there. Work it around. Make sure you get all the dry stuff off the sides and the bottom. And it'll start unsticking. See, now it's starting to unstick from my hand. Okay. See, I did add more water this time than I usually do because I know the last couple of times I made it, I needed a decent amount added in. So hopefully I don't have to do this multiple times. But you want to knead it in. And it's not glutinous, so you don't have to worry about overworking it as far as the gluten goes either, which is nice. Okay, let me see how this does. Because it is kind of nice here. Let me get it off my hand real quick. Okay. I just want to make sure you see how to shape it. So let's get a little clump and see how it works. That feels kind of nice, actually. I think that might be good. Let's try one and see. And you want to really like push it together as a ball first. And then you want to roll it out kind of like a snake. 8 to 10 inches. See, it might still be a little dry because it just cracked up on me a little bit. Let me see. Oh, I fixed it. Okay, 8 to 10 inches. Thereabouts. Yeah, I think I'm going to add a little more water. And you put it over. You can't be fussy with it and try to make it perfect. It's not going to work. Because it will crack anyway because it's just not the same. So I'm going to add just a little more water and work it in one more time. And then I'll show you again because it is cracking just a little more than I want it to. Matter of fact, why don't I just throw that one back in? Doesn't that make sense? Makes sense to me. Okay, so my hand gets really messy again. It's okay. It's all right. It will even itself out. Okay. I'm really going to town here, banging the bowl and everything. Okay. There we go. Let me scrape my hand again. Okay. Just because it's easier to work that way without the big clumps stuck all over your hand. It's not like it's going to hurt it or anything. It's just awkward. Okay. So let's do one more. Take a little bit off of that. That's a little much. Okay. Make sure you squish it into a ball. And then let's roll it out. Okay. So we roll it out. And you're going to take it and sort of fold it in half, if you can see that, but cross over. But don't let it like drop onto it just yet, because you want to be able to maneuver. And then you tuck it underneath and poke it through. And it's not going to be perfect. It's just not. It's just how it works with this dough. So it's okay. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to show you how to finish them. And then I'll finish the rest of these off camera. So we roll it out. Spoon in here. Get it out of the way. Roll it out, roll it out, roll it out. Okay. Take it. Tuck it. And done. And they look like, sorry, but they look like poop emojis. It's just the truth. That's what it looks like to me. Okay. So let me just clean this off real quick because I just want to show you the final product. Sorry, it's taking a little longer to get off my hands. Okay. And then I don't want this on the bottom of my pan. So I'm just going to clean this off real quick. All right. Bring the pan over. These are the finished. That's still too hot, so let's use pot holders. These are the finished ones. You can see. And so what you do is you take, whoops, that's the wrong drawer, a pastry brush, and you just brush this garlic oil that you made right over the top. You can be liberal with it. If you're eating dairy, you could even sprinkle some, what do you call it? Parmesan on there, but I can't eat dairy. And you can sprinkle some parsley as well, and that'll be yummy too. So you just brush it over. You can pop it back in the oven for a few minutes just to kind of golden it up a little more. But I actually left these in a little longer than I should have, so I'm not going to put them back in. But you get the idea. So you brush them all up, and then let's break one open. So here is the deal with this kind of stuff. The flours are very different, so the textures are not the same, and you just have to be like mentally prepared for that. So when I break this open, it's actually way better this time. Last time it was very chewy and gummy, and it still is to a degree, but it's not. It's almost like soft pretzel texture, actually. So yeah, okay. So while it's hot, it's chewy. As it cools, and even the next day, it gets more soft pretzel or, you know, like a more dense bread kind of a texture. But it's very yummy. And that you saw, it didn't take very long to do. It takes a little, like, just getting to know the texture and playing with it, but it's really not so bad. And they freeze well as well. So these are a great, like, make a whole bunch at the same time. If you don't like to make a mess over and over and over again, make a bunch, freeze them, pop 2 or 3 out when you need for a meal, and you're good to go. So let me just bring you closer so you can see. It's like real TV, Mare, huh? Okay, so let me turn you around. Okay, so this is what they look like. They look a little less, well, some of them still look like poop emojis, but they look a little less this time than the last time. But you can see, like, this one got all wriggly. You can't fix that unless you start it all over again. So you either leave it and be okay with it, or you move on. And then here's the cabbage, just so you can get it up close, well, without the steam. So there's the cabbage. You can use tomatoes. You don't have to use no-mayo sauce. Like I said, I do like 2 cans of diced and a can of tomato sauce just to give it a little moisture. And that's it. Right? It does look like a poop emoji. I'm sorry to keep saying poop, but it's serious. It looks like that. So I am going to go finish these garlic knots and drink my energy drink because girl needs a nap over here. And that'll be our show for today. So hopefully you enjoyed learning about those. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back next week. Bye, guys.